So today let's start with Assassin's Creed Shadows news. Assassin's Creed Shadows reveals backstory to the game New Ninja, the fastest assassin we ever made, because we have a lot to cover. The two playable figures of... Can you see this well? Okay. Assassin's Creed Shadows are emblematic of the nearly 20-year history of the popular video game series. Yasuke, voiced by Togai Kirisa, based on the historical figure of the same name, feels aligned with the franchise's recent action-adventure entries. He's a black samurai of African origins and much more of a brawler like the two protagonists of Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2018 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla 2020. However, if you're a fan of the earliest games, Naoe is the way to go. A shinobi assassin, she brings back the classic stealth gameplay, capable of blending in with shadows and speeding across rooftops unnoticed to stalk her targets. Naoe, the fastest assassin we ever made. Jonathan Dumont, creative director of Assassin's Creed Shadows, tells Entertainment Weekly. She runs super fast, she has a lot of gadgets to keep her stealth so that she doesn't have to fight often. Want to satisfy that for players that come in for that Ninja Assassins game. Anime fans will... yeah, I think this is a good thing, because if we like rogue type of characters, we like a lot like fast ninjas, like we can like that a lot, I guess. I know most people that play classes like rogues a lot, like in Skyrim. Lots of people play rogue, archers too. Anime fans will even be able to pull off their own Naruto's run, leaning forward, arms bent back. That too. Maybe they can get some Naruto fans as well, sprinting at full speed, but this time they need every fan. Yeah, we do have a run on top of buildings that is a little bit of wink wink to it, Dumont hints. The creative gives you exclusive insights into Naoe's backstory in the game, which is set against the backdrop of feudal Japan, specifically the Sengoku period. Naoe hails from the Iga province, a rural remote locale in the middle of the country that also plays into the origins of the shinobi or ninjas, while the narrative of Yusuke introduces players to the nobility of this era. Dumont says that the creative team wanted to show the opposite with Naoe, the day-to-day, relatable, hardworking farmhands. I think if they only did Naoe and they exclude Yasuke and made Naoe like a real good ninja with lots of tools and ways to play, I think that will be like enough. What do you guys think? Like, put all the energy of making Yusuke into Naoe really great and make it the best Assassin's Creed protagonist, let's say. Assassin's Creed Shadows plays out through the dueling perspectives of both Yasuke and Naoe. Their stories start to collide in 1579, the year that the son of feudal lord Oda Nobunaga, the daimyo Yasuke serves, tries and fails to invade Iga. Naoe was shielded by her father from what's happening in the world and it comes crashing down. Dumont explains she's pushed into war. She doesn't know much about her origins, her father been training her, but she doesn't know much about her mother, who's been gone. That is a cool thing. Hopefully we also get to get the training with the father, to play with the father, train with the father and maybe customize our skills, or that will be cool, I think. But I may be imagining things right now, I may be dreaming too much. But as a cool proverb from Japan says, a frog in a well knows nothing of the sea. She's tossed into the real world, and through that she learned that she is not a shinobi, that there is a little bit of a lineage, or at least some mystery about some sort of different type of shinobi. They're assassins, so there's some link to that. Dumont declines to go much further into detail to preserve some of the story points, but he teases how, as she learns more about what it means to be part of the world of assassins, she'll have to navigate in the midst of war. Also tell me if the sound and image is good when you're watching this stream. Okay, I think it's good. She will start a bit of a path of vengeance or fulfilling a promise that she made to her family, she says. As she discovers a world in need, she begins to really value the community values her father taught. She can make a better world. She realizes there are people who cannot defend themselves, which is tied a little bit more to the models of the Assassin's Brotherhood. As seen... yeah, maybe this article is long. No, it's not that long. There are lots of comments. Anyway, let's continue. As seen is EW's exclusive image from Shadows, a kid by the name of Yunjiro becomes a focal point He's the future Naue hopes Japan will be, Dumont notes. Naue's storyline is very much entangling the character's skill set, which involves a grappling hook that allows her to swiftly scale tall structures, kunai and smoke bombs. Yeah, I like the grappling hook. It creates lots of strategical and like rogue type of strategical attacks. Smoke bombs too, that allow her to distract targets, and a hidden blade, the signature weapon of the assassin. She'll have, I think, having more of these tools will be even better. She can use to take out her targets. Each time is linked to an element from her backstory, specifically the survival skills is imparted by her father. The hidden blade is given by her father, and we are going to learn a bit more about what that means. Dumont says altogether she does feel like a panther looking at her prey. In the early development, it became clear to the team that Shadows will be a two-person story, and the characters began to play off each other as the creation process went on. While Yusuke is considered level-headed, now he is more hot-headed. Yasuke is more in combat as part of the samurai order, while Naue runs into trouble when facing 4 or 5 adversaries at once. But while Naue can gracefully slick through in shadow, Yasuke, we should have lots of ways to escape these 5 guys when we are facing them with Naue. I think that will be crazy. Like, go run between their legs or something like that. I know it sounds funny, but we should have different way to escape and then attack back and stuff like that. I think that'll be dope. But while Naue can gracefully slick through in shadows, Yasuke has difficulty performing a signature Assassin's Creed move, the leap of faith, jumping from a great height to land safely in a bale of hay, a pile of flowers, or some other cushioning agent. Yeah, Yasuke doesn't really fill in the assassin shoes, I think. What do you think? He's too much of a tank. Anyhow, let's check this out too. This official one. Oh, it's just the official trailer. He doesn't do leap of faith, the melon reveals, he just crashes right into the haystack and he hurts his butt too, so it's pretty funny. Jokes aside, he says the team wanted to satisfy the two main types of Assassin's Creed fans with Shadows with both characters. We have fans from more than 15 years of Assassins. I don't think people really want a tank in an Assassin's Creed game, but tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm talking about Yasuke. A lot of people like Assassins the start with a stealth approach, hiding in the shadows and the crowd, then have a little bit more of the action-oriented ones that like Assassin's Odyssey, Origins and Valhalla, try to satisfy both types of players but also try to not dilute too much of what they like about it. Assassin's Creed Shadows will arrive this February, whatever. So yeah, I think Yasuke doesn't really fill the shoes, and they should put all the energy into making Naue the best assassins they can, the best ninja. Yeah, because she fills those shoes way better than Yasuke does.
More excited about
Let's check this one too. Subscribe and like to this guy.
Assassin's Creed Shadows after learning the info and seeing the new gameplay that I will share in this video. For one, we finally have some different outfits and armor sets for Naue and Yasuke. I love the
Those look cool.
black red.
I love the ninja red and black one and the kimono on Yasuke.
Outfit for Naue in particular, and also this beefed up samurai armor for Yasuke with the shoulder.
And yeah, I like the shoulders especially. Those are really unique when you have armor.
Now only headpieces and full armor sets, so 2 gear pieces in your inventory instead of 5. And we learned that you can upgrade all these armor sets as well. Hopefully that's more impactful than the simple rarity upgrades at the blacksmith. We also learned that next to the Valhalla type gear chest in restricted areas, there will also be legendary gear you can loot in each castle that you have to infiltrate. There should be a special locked chest, and this kind of reminds
Nice.
me of the
I like the hook and the kill,
legendary.
the stealthy kill.
I did see that some of the more powerful items, they were of course not locked, but I would not be surprised if the special chest looked different too. What's cool is that also unique enemies will drop items, so kind of like the mercenaries or mythical creatures did in Odyssey.
Okay.
In particular, I have to look out for the samurai daisho, the samurai agents that can only be found in military castles, so a particular type of samurai. I don't think we have footage of them yet, but they have unique fighting styles that mix a lot of techniques, and they are a stiff combat challenge all by themselves, let alone when surrounded
And they are a stiff combat channel.
by samurai. And I think that you can probably skip them if you just sneak around as Naue or infiltrate a particular part of the castle as Yasuke. but you should not skip them because they are the gateway.
Oh, you know what can be really cool? Like play with Yasuke and like tank all these guys, and then really switch really fast, like kind of in GTA 5. That will be cool if it's possible. Really switch really fast to Naue and try some kills from the back, and then switch really quick to Yasuke and yeah, tank some more. That will be really cool. And maybe even when you play with one and you can interact with the other. If you play Naue, you can interact with Yasuke and do some really cool like combo kills and skills, kind of like what Naruto Storm 4 has. You can play with other teammates, but you can also combine attacks with them. That will be really unique for an Assassin's Creed game. But what do you think? This really be cool for an Assassin's Creed game?
Way to some of the best loot in the game. And what is cool is that fighting tough opponents will also exclusively reward you with mastery points, which are basically the skill points this time around. So you get them through leveling up, like Shadows will have a more traditional leveling system again, similar to Origins and Odyssey. But what we, for example, saw in Valhalla,
I think that will be a really cool and unique system they could implement and attract lots of eyes to their game. I know that they're in a really bad financial situation.
Is that a lot of like random activities, also
so that they still have some creativity left.
the combat activities would give you skill points in Valhalla. In Shadows, the only other way next to leveling to get mastery points seems to be fighting special opponents. And that makes winning a tough fight more rewarding. And so you can spend mastery points on character-specific upgrades like adrenaline regeneration or more base health, but also on weapon-based skills. And we now learned about all the weapon types both Naue and Yasuke can use. So let's go over that and way more. Of course, if you like the video so far, leave a like. That would really help me out, so thanks for that. And subscribe, because you don't want to miss the Shadows videos I got coming your way. Got the regular katana, which of course the more balanced playstyle, and I love how she holds a sword. Spending mastery points.
I love those kicks after she slashes with a blade.
The dedicated skill tree means that you can eventually assassinate an enemy through a
Yeah, and through the door too.
or one of the
Looks awesome. And unique.
weaknesses is her defense. She has less health and armor compared to Yasuke and also cannot block. More on that in a moment. So she will drop way faster when fighting multiple enemies. The Kusarigama will help with this though, as you can use the ball and chain to hit multiple targets from a range.
That's awesome how everything gets destroyed around.
This will actually push them back as well. Really curious if you can just spam this like the flail in Valhalla. But yeah, I expect the Kusarigama to be quite OP. And when close, you can deal some nice single target damage.
Yeah, she should have like a few tools to get more people at once if she's surrounded. She not should be like really weak against multiple opponents, or really be weak just in the right situation and then be strong. If she uses the right tools and the right tactics, I mean.
Sickle. And we now, by the way, learned.
Now the flailing in Valhalla looks kind of dumb, because the area of the attack is really small.
That the rush assassinate ability that you can unlock with mastery points lets you jump to targets with meters. But the coolest assassin ability linked to a weapon is of course going to be the double assassination from the air, or you have to use the Tento and Hidden Blade combo. The combat gameplay with this combo looks brutal, and yes, we're of course using that detachable Hidden Blade in combat, which is awesome. It's a finisher.
Really quick attacks, I really love those
as well. So yeah, Naue only has 3 weapon types, which on one hand is more than the sword and dagger.
Yeah, she should be able to run between the legs like she just did. And she is also surrounded and doesn't have the right tools.
Her combo.
She should have evading skills, like how small and fast she is.
At in Mirage with Bass.
What do you think? Should this be the case?
But this is an RPG that they want us to spend hundreds of hours in. So I do worry that it might not be enough unless they add new weapon types to the game quickly. launch. Although it's likely going to be more of an issue with the more combat-focused Yasuke. He also, of course, has the katana, but this one is called a long katana because it's longer than the one Naue has. But just like for her, this is going to be your more balanced option, especially great in 1v1 duels.
Well, after thinking about it, I really like the choice of playing with him because I really love playing with tanks. I don't think she really, I don't think he really fits the shoes of an assassin in this game, but yeah, having that option to play with him too will be cool, I think.
Nata excels more in groups.
When you want to be more, to brute force more your way through the quests and the enemies.
See a special active ability you can unlock with mastery points that you can only do with this weapon, where you spin it around kind of like the overpower attack from the staff from Odyssey, and then you hit multiple targets. The range also helps to keep the enemies away from you, and we of course have the cannon bow that we saw in action during Ubisoft Forward. This is the heaviest, so also the slowest weapon he has, but if you got it under control, it will,
I think he's a bit OP, especially 1v1.
deal the most damage and let you easily remove armor from the enemy. I really missed the heavy mace in Valhalla, so great that it's back in Shadows. So 3 melee weapons, but you also got 2 ranged options. There's something interesting going on with the selection, but first we of course have the Yumi bow, which is Yasuke's only way to do stealth, as other enemies won't be alerted when you drop their friend.
I like the graphics.
Headshot. We now also learned that we have a variety of arrows, so I'm expecting fire, poison, etc. again, similar to Odyssey, which will make the weapon way more versatile. But you can of course also use the Teppo rifle. This one has more range than the bow. Ubisoft notes that it has great armor penetration.
Then we also have rifles, that's cool. If they reload really slow and stuff like that, if they're not OP. I like more the medieval weapons, but I don't like rifles that are too fast and OP. Or guns, because that kills the medieval weapons in games like this, in games in medieval settings.
But also a slower fire rate and longer reload time. And obviously when you shoot the weapon, you will alert the whole camp. But a big change in Shadows, as I speculated before, is that a ranged weapon now also fits in your main weapon slots. 2 weapon slots, you can choose to go melee and range meaning 2 melee weapons. I was curious if you could maybe do like a ranged only build, so switch between the bow and gun. That is not possible. But yeah, while in Odyssey and Origins you could still switch between 2 melee weapons and have your bow. Shadows, when you want to use a bow or gun, you only can use 1 melee weapon. It is quite a change. And it's overall cool to see that there's way more depth in the Assassin's Creed Shadows combat than meets the eye.
Damn, I love those fast attacks. Really fast attacks.
Now, of course, you got your regular light and heavy attacks, although they do know that some enemies can power through your heavy attacks, mostly stagger enemies, and of course deal bigger damage. Completely new are posture attacks. Remember the charged heavy attack we saw in Origins and Odyssey that were a ton of fun to use? In Valhalla, they turned it into the Vengeance of Thor, way stronger if you did not charge it up. Either way, in Shadows, they expanded on these attacks, as you can now charge both the light and heavy attack, with the heavy attacks of course being a bit slower. They can both be held indefinitely to adjust your distance or change target.
I like these posture attacks and how the blocks work now.
And then by letting go,
they really look natural and awesome.
You break through an enemy's block and can also remove their...
when they hold the swords to each other, I mean.
Armor. Now enemies will try to prevent you from using these posture attacks, so yeah, it's smart to charge them up and immediately let go. Now Yasuke does have a sneaky sheathed posture attack where he will charge up an opening strike while his weapon is still in the sheath, so a great way to surprise an enemy and successfully do a posture attack. And we overall should read our enemies way more in Shadows, and there are some interesting differences between Naue and Yasuke. So both characters can of course dodge, but Yasuke will simply step to the side, with his second dodge actually having a slight recovery period, while Naue will have the rolls and no recovery period. Yasuke is the only character who can block. Seems like he can do that by just holding a shoulder button to ignore regular attacks, and even incoming arrows.
Yeah, the blocks look awesome, the animations.
Kunai, but more powerful is of course the parry he can do. When successful, the enemy will namely be open for a counter attack, while Yasuke just stays put, he stands still. Noway's parry though is called deflect. It requires the same timing, but when successful, Noway will actually go
Yeah.
to the side of an enemy, and that opens them up for some nice
That looks unique and really cool animations. It really fits an assassin fighting style too.
attacks. But this can also mean that you will then suddenly be in the range of other targets, so it's not ideal. The red glowing unstoppable attacks are back in Shadows. You of course want to dodge out of the way of these, but when blocking, parrying or deflecting them, you will still actually negate some of the damage of this red glowing attack. So they are overall less powerful
That's cool.
this time around. But brand new are the flurry attacks that we will see with a blue glow on an enemy's weapon.
Yes.
When you see this, you can expect a combo with multiple hits, even if
I really love that Ubisoft is finally making a Japanese setting game, Assassin's Creed game, because this is one of my favorite ones, with the Greek one, with Odyssey, with Egypt. I love Egypt. I love Norway, in Valhalla, and Ireland, and all these places. This was missing out. And I was missing out on it. This Japanese setting, but I'll also play these other games that have this setting that are really cool, especially Ghost of Tsushima.
you try to counter them, like the hits
The support.
always come. But if you parry or deflect all the hits, then you will actually cause the enemy to back down, and then they will get into a glowing
And also the Ronin one, whatever it's called, with a graphics mode maybe on PC.
orange vulnerable state, and when in this state you get a short window to deal a lot of damage because the enemy is unable to do anything back. It can also trigger this vulnerable state after a perfect dodge. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments and subscribe. We got the way more Shadows videos,
Cool atmosphere.
so you don't want to miss that. A like would
I'm
really
really vibing to it already.
previous video with some big changes that were announced.
Like and subscribe to his channel.